Plus, what happens when there's no touching, only typing? Is that still cheating? Our power panel is breaking it all down when Good Day Orlando returns. Cheating. It rips couples apart. But what happens when there's no touching, only typing?
You've got mail.
Whether it's an online love affair or something that accidentally started on Facebook.
I guess Facebook helps you meet people, and it's meeting people and getting interested in people that's the foundation of cheating, right?
How far is too far? And how can you pick up the pieces when it's over? And joining us this morning to talk about that, relationship coach Roy Biancalana and mental health counselor Janie Lacy. Both of you, so great for you to come in this morning. Thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so let's talk. All of this stems from this story that is out of Tampa and Washington. We're talking about General John Allen and this woman in Tampa, both of them married to other people. But over the last couple of years, exchanging between 20 and 30,000 emails or other types of communication, described in some cases as being flirtatious. So it sort of leads all of us to sort of do a double check of ourselves. Is something like this appropriate? So Roy, we're going to start with you. What do you think about all of this?
Well, it certainly is not appropriate for most people in their marriage vows, and committing to each other that our emotional and physical needs will be shared with each other and no one else. You know, years ago it was around the water cooler, but now there's so many different social media opportunities that these chances to develop kind of inappropriate emotional connections with other people are expanding quite a bit.
Well, and Janie, Roy brings up a great point. The temptation is great. You have all these different outlets in which you can reach out to perfect strangers and you start connecting with them, creating bonds with them. How dangerous is it to go down that road?
Well, the temptations are greater than they have been in the past, and many times when people are communicating through Facebook or on social media, they'll start out innocent. They don't think they're being inappropriate, but it's easy to get into that realm where they start flirting with each other, they start talking about personal information, and before you know it, then they're getting a high off of waiting for that other person to respond. So a lot of times people fall into this situation by accident. They're not going into it saying, well, you know what, I'm going to be communicating with this person and I hope that we hook up.
At what point, Roy, should the bell go off that you've crossed the line, that this has entered dangerous territory?
That point would be crossed when you realize that you're going to keep it secret from your spouse or your partner. When something's being said or done or communicated that you don't want them to know, then you know you've crossed the line, and that, in my business, would be the time that you need to start speaking to your spouse about what's going on. So the secrecy is the sign.
You know, and it's such a good point. We often talk about lying by omission. Like, well, if I don't say anything about it, it's technically not lying. Janie, what are your thoughts there?
You're right. That's exactly what happens. And then it starts to compile, and then they start getting into more personal information, and before you know it, then the secret they're used to, the secrecy becomes familiar. And then that's when they really start getting into trouble, because now they're not necessarily going to stay online. They're thinking about what it would be like to actually meet this person, or sometimes they do meet these people and it still hasn't crossed the line, but they've crossed the line that their spouse doesn't know. They're now having lunch with John that they were once texting with.
All right, so both of you, quickly, is this just as bad or is it potentially worse than physical cheating?
Well, I think it's just as bad. I mean, some people would say that when you cross the physical line, it really damages things. But when your heart and your emotions and your attention is being given to another person that you're not in a relationship with, I would feel that that would be just as bad as actually going all the way physically.
All right, Janie, real quick, what do you think there?
And I agree. If you're taking that emotional energy and you're giving it to someone other than your spouse, and you're starting to get looking forward to talking with them, you're sharing more details with them than you are with your spouse, and you're taking away something that should be going to your relationship. So essentially you're stealing something and you're giving it to someone else. So there's definitely some inappropriateness there.
All right, interesting perspective, both of you. Roy Biancalana, Janie Lacy, thanks for your time this morning. It is 8:52. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Good Day Orlando.